Hello, welcome. I am Alana Deshotel, and I'm here to talk about a Netflix documentary film that I watched called Con Mom and the analysis of the persuasive devices that a lot of the characters used to commit and bring credibility to their stories. So, essentially, Con Mom is a documentary film about the reconnection between, or the reunion between a mother or the biological, in quotations, mother and her son after 45 years. Now, what I talk about in this short slideshow is what if the person who was supposed to shape your childhood turns out to be the one who ends up twisting your adulthood? Essentially, Con Mom tells the story of the person on the left, Graham, the son, who is a pretty renowned British pastry chef who reconnects with his biological mother, Dion, on the right after 45 years. At first, her appearance into his life is loving. It's one of reconnecting and fulfillment. And maybe that is later turned dark when we find out that the appearance of a loving, wealthy, and sick woman is revealed to be a con artist, and the ways that she manipulates strangers and those close to her alike. The first slide I have here, it talks about emotion being used as control. So emotion directly leads to the Aristotle rhetoric device of pathos, how we influence others. So Dion uses emotion to influence specifically family members. So, using her now close proximity to her son, who is grateful to have this woman who he's been missing for all his life now back in his life, she uses that want and that need almost to manipulate in a way Graham's plans in his life. So, in the story, she claims to have terminal cancer. This creates fear, guilt, and urgency within Graham. Because of this, he essentially puts his life on hold. He leaves his partner to fill out his mother's ventures in Switzerland about how she wants to possibly bring more money and fruition into his life. This all happens while he just had a newborn with his partner. Essentially, the way Dion furthers this is she sends Graham a picture of blood in the toilet. And this also facilitates her story about being terminally ill, not having long to live. Again, this puts that urgency within Graham that he needs to do whatever he needs to do now. That means leaving his current partner and newborn child to go and do this venture with his mother. So that is another way to show that she uses emotion as control. Another way would be love turned into obligation. So after in the story, after Graham comes back from Switzerland, his partner kind of alludes to the wedge that is being driven between them by his mother, Dion. And this wedge is then furthered by Dion. How and why? It is, again, the manipulations of control. So Dion uses her way of not having long to live and saying that I'm going to be in the hospital as a way to convince Graham to not take this trip with his partner to go see his partner's family and introduce his partner's family to their newborn. So she uses persuasive tactics and ways of guilt that insinuate that she essentially wouldn't be alive if he went on the trip and came back. He would find her no longer able to be within his life due to nature of laws. So that is a way that she uses emotion as control. And it's hard. It brings in the audience and it brings in the question, if someone you love told you that they were dying, would you question this? Would you question this knowing that what you guys have founded is recent, the love between mother and son? So, another device that Dion has moved away from besides pathos would probably be ethos. She uses a performance of wealth to bring credibility to her life and the things that she does. So she claims connections to Swiss bankers and top lawyers, surrounding herself with symbols of wealth and powers and the institutions that these wealthy and powerful people come from. These elite connections make her story seem legitimate. It also brings into question if someone looked wealthy, looked the part of being connected and confident, would you be able to suspect anything different? Would you question their story? So by performing this status and authority, Dion turns suspicion into belief. Her credibility becomes proof, and that becomes status as evidence. People are using the constant phone calls that she's on the phone with lawyers and these meetings that she's getting with Swiss banks and the secret rooms that she's able to occupy. Like she's able to use that as evidence for being a connected and trustworthy person with your money. That is how she is able to use credibility and ethos to get strangers to trust her by conning a a third party that is connected with illness treatment. She is able to invest in their company, and in return, they would have offered her help with her illness treatment. But after denying that she just wanted to live on this earth with her time, what do? They give her a second option, which is a cash option. This is how she is able to use money from that scam into her other scams. She's using the wealth that she gets from other scams to show off the wealth to other strangers for them to get trustworthy and credible with her so then that she can scam them. So, in conclusion, Con Mom reveals that manipulation is strongest when emotion and authority work together. Through pathos, Dion controls feelings of love and fear. Through ethos, she builds an image of power and legitimacy. And this documentary reminds us that deception is not just about lying. It is not just about the look of deception, because it doesn't have a look. This is an 85-year-old woman who went to scam a lot of people she came in contact with. It shows how easily trust can be exploited. You feel that you can trust someone because they look innocent or they look fragile, they look like they might not do certain things. That trust was able to be exploited by Dion. She used that level of trust that people had in her. It's also a little bit of underestimation to manipulate others. The references I used would be the Con Mom Netflix documentary in 2023 and the rhetoric devices of Pathos and Ethos by Aristotle. I hope everyone has a good day and they enjoy my analysis of the Con Mom. And it poses the question, considering that Dion was Graham's biological mother, and this was proven by test, would you have believed her? Would you have believed the story that she told and as to why she was in your life? Everyone have a great day.